Hello everyone, now we are going to discuss the next topic, that is natural vibration. In the last topic, we have considered the introduction part, in which we have seen that the to and fro periodic motions about their equilibrium position is considered as harmonic motion or the oscillations. And we have seen the examples, that is sine theta curve, cos theta curve. And the next thing we have discussed, that any vibratory system is a combination of kinetic energy storing device, potential energy storing device, kinetic frictions, and the unbalanced force or external forces. So, what is the natural vibration basically? The vibration in which there is no friction at all. The first important thing is that in case of vibration, that is natural vibrations, no friction at all. There will not be any friction. Okay, no friction at all in case of natural vibration. The second thing is that there will not be any external forces. There is no external forces. So basically these two criteria for the natural vibration. Okay, however kinetic friction is included in case of damping. We will see what is damping in the later topics. So you just have to remember that no friction at all and no external forces in case of natural vibration. So as you release the system initially, there will be to and fro periodic motions about their equilibrium position. Okay, but there is no external forces and there is no friction at all. Then the vibration will be known as natural vibration. So these vibrations were firstly seen by the earlier Italian mathematician Galileo. Galileo has seen these vibrations in the system first of all. Okay, so this is basically two conditions for the natural vibrations. Now we will derive the equations for the natural vibrations, which is basically very important because when we do the numerical questions, we will need these equilibrium equations. So we need to derive the equilibrium equations. So for deriving these equations, we have to consider the spring mass system. So first I am going to consider the spring mass system. This is our spring having a stiffness, and there is a mass m which is going to be attached here, and there is a stiffness s. Okay, so equilibrium equations, either you can apply Newton's second law of motions or you can apply D'Alembert principle. Okay, what is the Newton's second law of motions? The Newton's second law says the summation of external forces will be equal to mass into acceleration. Okay, so that means if you see there is the mg force, this would be the mean position. Okay, mean position, or you can say it is equilibrium position, mean equilibrium position. After time t, when you release the system, after time t, there will be a new position obtained by the mass m at t barabar t. Okay, this is at t barabar 0 initially, and you can see that there is a x distance covered by the mass, and you can see that x is a function of time, because as time goes on there will be changes in the position of the masses. Okay, but we don't know what is the actual relation, we will see later, but here x is a function of time. Okay, so here either you can apply the Newton's second law or you can apply the D'Alembert principle. So if you apply the Newton's second law of motion, if you apply the Newton's second law, what would be the equations you'll get? External forces is only one there. There is a spring forces, that would be enough. If you consider downward direction as positive and upward direction as negative, so it would be minus of Sx, because the motion is in the downward direction, so spring force will be in the upward direction. So Sx minus of Sx would be equal to ma. Okay, so you can write it as ma plus Sx is equal to 0. Okay, so this is the Newton's second law basically, and if you apply the D'Alembert principle, so the equations would be the same, but the procedure is different. D'Alembert principle, you just have to consider the block M on which there is a motion in the downward motions. Okay, there will be a motion in the downward directions. So there will be a, we know that there will be a spring forces which is in the upward directions. But the thing is that when you apply the D'Alembert principle, the inertia forces work in the opposite directions to that of motion. So F inertia would be equal to ma. So the equations would be like that. Equations would be ma plus sx is equal to 0. External forces, that means summation of F is equal to 0. So you'll get ma plus sx is equal to 0, and from here you can get the value of a. I can write a as x double dot. We all know that a is denoted as x double dot. Velocity is denoted as x dot. So this is basically mx double dot plus sx is equal to 0 that we get here. So from here you can replace a x double dot plus s by m, x is equal to 0. So from here you can see that we got a multiplication, that is s by m. Okay, so this is basically the equation of natural system. You need to remember that this is the equation of natural vibration. First of all, you must remember this equation, natural vibration equation. Okay, this is very important equations. From here we will get the solution, because this is our equation and every equation has a solution. So what would be the solution? So I'm just writing here, actually this is a differential equation, so I'm just writing here the solution of the above equations. The solution of the equation is, you will see how you will get the solution of equations in the mathematics subject. Okay, differential calculus and differential equations also. So I'm just writing here the direct equations. So you'll get here x value, x is equal to r sine root of s by m p plus phi, where phi and r both are considered as constant. Phi, this is constant. Okay, the variable is what? P is the variable. So this is the equations. Okay, solution of the equations basically. So if you want to know the angular velocity, or you can call it as the natural frequency, in this vibration chapter we consider omega as the frequency. Okay, so natural, because this is the equation of the natural vibration, so we will get the natural frequency, or you can call it as the vibration with frequency omega n, that would be equal to omega n, that would be equal to under root of s upon m. Okay, this is the natural frequency, or you can say the frequency of the natural vibration. Okay, and the unit is same, that is the radian per second. Okay, this is denoted as omega n, and the frequency is under root of s by m, where s is the stiffness of the spring and m is the mass of the block. Okay, so from here you can get the value of Pm, that is the oscillation of time, that is, we know that this is 2 pi by omega, and the unit is second. This is just the inverse of, you can say this is the inverse of frequency. So either you can call it as 1 upon fn, or you can call it as 2 pi by omega. So I'm just writing here frequency, that is omega. This is omega n because we are talking about the natural frequency, or you can natural vibrations. So this is omega n upon 2 pi. The unit is hertz. This is the frequency in hertz and this is the frequency in radian per second. Okay, the examiner will mention you the units. If it is asking in the examinations that find out the frequency, it will mentioning in the examinations that the frequency you have to find out in radian per second or in hertz. Okay, so don't worry about it. If nothing is given, you just have to find out the frequency in radian per second. Okay, if the examiner will give you that find out the frequency in hertz, then you have to apply this formula. Okay, so this is the basically formula. You must remember that there are important formula is this is basically important formula. Omega n is equal to root of s by. Now see here, there are two constants r and phi. Okay, so we have to find out r and phi. How can we find out r and phi constants? So we just have to apply the initial conditions. Using initial conditions, we can find out two constants r and phi. So you have to see here how can we apply the initial conditions here. Now at t barabar 0, we are interested to finding out r and phi value. Okay, so our next task is finding out the r and phi value. So at t barabar 0, either you can apply x is equal to x naught, that is the initial displacement. Okay, and velocity is equal to 0. That means either you can give initial displacement and you just have to start with 0 velocity. Okay, so these two from here you will get the two equations and you can say you will get the two constants r and phi using these two conditions. Or the second thing is that it may be either you can apply this at t barabar 0 or you can apply at t barabar 0. Either you can provide x is equal to 0 and velocity is equal to v naught. That means you have not provided any initial displacement, you just have provided velocity. So this is the second case. See, either you can apply first case, either you can apply second case. Okay, and in the third case at t barabar 0, the third possibility is that you have provided displacement, initial displacement, and also you are giving some velocity initially. So in all the three cases, the intention is to find out r and phi. You can apply any one of these to finding out the value of r and phi. Okay, there is no other possibilities. Okay, these three possibilities are there. Either you apply, either you give initial displacement at no velocity initially, and in the second case you have not provided some displacement and you just have provided some initial velocity to the system, and in the third case you are providing both initial displacement and both initial velocity. So these three possibilities are there to finding out r and phi. One of them you can apply, which one is suitable. Okay, so finally net equations of the vibration I'm going to write here. Net equations. So finally net equations of equilibrium is x double dot plus omega n x is equal to 0. That is the equations. You must remember this. Okay, see here omega n, we know that omega n is equal to under root of s by m, and we have seen here in the equations of natural vibration that x double dot plus s by m, that means you can call it as omega n square. Okay, so that's why there will be a omega n square. Okay, so the equation is x double dot plus omega n square x is equal to 0. Okay, so this is the equations of the natural vibrations. Now one example I'm solving here so that you will be able to understand how to solve the questions. what types of questions is going to be asked in the examination. So I'm just giving you an example on the natural vibrations. If the examiner give you the equations like that, 5x double dot plus 3x is equal to 0, and asking that find out omega n. Omega n is the frequency of the natural vibrations. Okay, so omega n you have to find out. First you have to rearrange the equations just like that. X double dot plus 3 by 5 x is equal to 0. Now we will compare this equation with the equation of the natural vibrations, that is omega n square x is equal to 0. You can see here that omega n square basically is equal to 3 by 5. So here you will get the value omega n is equal to under root of 3 by 5. The unit would be radian per second. So this is as simple as you can find out this, and you can find out the frequency in hertz also. Okay, so this is not the complicated questions. Basically I'm just telling you here how to use the equations of the natural vibrations. Okay, they will not give you the equations like that very simple. This is very simple equations. They will give you the equations like that. Okay, you have to rearrange the equations and find out the value of natural frequency. Okay, now the other examples I'm giving you here. Now let us understand that examiners give you the spring mass system. This is a spring having the stiffness S and the block M. Mass of the block is M. Okay, so now what would be the natural frequency? You just have to use the formula, that is under root of S by M. Now the thing is that don't be confused if the structure is like that. Suppose if the structure is given like that, if the structure is like that, there is a floor, okay, horizontal floor, you can say there is a spring and the block M is resting on this horizontal floor. Okay, there will be a axial displacement, okay, and there will be a vibration because harmonic motions will be there. So what would be the frequency of the natural vibrations? That would be the same as previous. There will not be any change. Don't be confused that it is vertical and it is horizontal. I am talking about the natural frequency of the vibrations. So the natural frequency of the vibrations will be same whether the spring mass system is vertical and horizontal, or if it is inclined. If the spring mass system is inclined, even the frequency would be same. That means omega 1, omega n would be same. That would be under root of S by n. Because there will be a, however there is a displacement, so there will be a mg sin theta. Mg sin theta will be balanced by Sxi. What is xi? Xi is the basically initial position of the mass. Okay, so mg sin theta is equal to Sxi. So both will be balanced to each other. The final relations that we get here, that would be the same. Omega n is equal to under root of S by n. So whether the spring mass system is horizontal, vertical or inclined, the frequency of the natural vibrations would be same. That is omega n is equal to root of S by n. Okay. So I hope you will understand this whole natural vibrations completely. I already explained this topic theoretically and the numerically. Theoretically, you must remember these 2 points, that there is no friction at all and there is no external forces. Numerically, you must remember the equations of the natural vibrations, okay, and the formula for frequency of natural vibrations in hertz and in radian per second. Okay, and this is the time interval. You can find out time of oscillations. You can find out 2 pi by omega n. Okay, so I hope you will understand this whole topic. So we will do the numerical questions. So thank you.